Hello all, welcome to this session of OpenMentor.net on software testing. Especially we are talking about test execution. The last session we talked about build verification tests, also known as smoke tests. In this we will talk about bug tracking also. The BVTs are build verification tests, which are critical tests to the product. Once the critical tests are over, this is usually 10 to 15% of total test cases. The rest 85 to 90% of the test cases are called BAT. It's known as build acceptance test. Again, this is not user acceptance test. When we say acceptance, testers are the first customers, right? If testers do not accept the product, then how can you expect the customers to accept the product? So testers should really act as customers to ensure the quality in the product. So testers should have high expectation on the product quality. When we do the test, again, remember CRUD method. The create are already done in BVT. Read, update, delete. Try to use in that order because updation happens less, deletion happens less. But creation and viewing happen a lot. So try to do it in this CRUD order when you are executing the test cases. Again, usually the test lead or the test manager will distribute, okay, who to test what, right? They will have a test management system to have X number of test cases allotted to person A, Y number of test cases allotted to person B, so that each one can independently execute the test cases. As and when people execute the test cases, they need to update two things. One is the status, right? The status is usually pass or fail, right? If the actual results in front of your eyes do match the expectations, the expected results, then it's a pass. If actual results and expected results do not match, then it's a failure. Again, in that case, we already talked about, do it again, right? Don't immediately file a bug. Do the test again. Ensure it fails again. In that case, it's consistently happening. So then file a bug, right? A bug is nothing but a non-conformance. It's not conforming to your expectations. It is a deviation from the expectation, right? So in that case, it is going against the requirements of the customers. So it is treated as a failure. In this case, a bug, if you have a bug, if you are able to consistently reproduce the bug, then you need to make a formal document which is called bug report. Some companies call it as incidents, right? Report. Some companies call it as problem report. Some company call it as defect report, right? But usually the term bug is a standard term. The reason why the name bug is chosen, in olden computers, right? The actual bugs, right? Actual real bugs, they get into the room because of the heat emanated and they stick to some place, and it caused short circuits in the boards or in the wires or the connections. It caused a lot of problems. So whenever they had a problem, they used to tell it as, oh, it should be a bug that caused this problem. But it actually caused the problem in the hardware, right? But when the problems happened in the software also, they used the same term bug. That's why the name bug came, right? Again, when you get a bug, certain things you need to file. There's a standard documentation, right? Like a email subject, you need to get a bug title, or it's also known as bug summary, or it's also known as bug subject. Basically a one-line description, right? You can always say, let us take a simple example. Application allows February 30th as a valid date. Assume that the application is having a date field and it is allowing February 30th, which is not possible. So that means there is a problem in the logic of the program. So you are just telling in one line, right? Once this is done, then you need to note, okay, tested by, or who is also known as the author of the bug, right? You put your name. So I can put my name as Nagarajan, who found this bug. Then found on, right? You need to give the date and time. You can say 13th December 2010, 10:35 a.m., right? So you need to give the date and time when it was found, who found it, right? We also give which screen, right? The screen name in which the bug happened, right? You can say resume builder screen, right? Okay. Once this is given, right, you have some basic information about the bug. Then you should also give the test case ID. While testing which test case you got this problem, right? We can always say resume builder, say 238. This is the test case. While testing this test case, I had this problem, right? There is also one other field which is known as detailed description. Okay, it's also known as steps to reproduce. So how can I create this bug again? Give step-by-step instructions so that even the developer will be in a position to reproduce in his or her machine to ensure that it is fixed, right? You can always say go to resume builder screen, right? Enter candidate name, enter 30th February 1978 as date of birth, save the form, right? You can, and it says system accepts this value and saves the form, right? This is an error against the expectation, so you can put this one. Also, once this is done, right, some people also ask what is the machine name, right, or host name, host or machine. You have to say in which machine it happened, because people in your networking team, they know, okay, this happened on desktop 128, so they know the configuration. In many companies they also ask you to give the OS. Okay, you can say WinXP. If it's a browser based application, they will also ask you in which browser it happened. You can say IE 7.0, right? So these are all the basic information that a tester has to provide, right? This is usually an Excel sheet or a document. You make one report like this for every bug that you get. So you get a test case, you execute the test case, you find a problem, you file the report, then you move on to next test case, right? Once this is done, right, the test lead, usually there will be a meeting, right? Meeting every day, right? This is called triage meeting. This triage meeting is to discuss bugs, right? Usually the project manager, business analyst, development lead and test lead, development manager and the test manager, they will meet. They will take a list of all the bugs found on that day, right? The first they will go through one after the other all the bugs. In that they will discuss, is this a bug? First of all, is it a problem? Sometimes the understanding of testing team may be wrong, so they might have got some correct thing as wrong thing. So first of all, is this a bug? So in this case, you need to go with the requirement. Requirement states this. My test case states this. Application works like this. So it is contradicting requirements. So if it is contradicting requirements, it's a definite bug. Number 2, they will determine something called severity. Severity means how it affects the product. Is this a serious problem, right? Usually any crash, right, any data loss is a problem, right? They call it as high severity. You are trying to do something, application crashes. You try to do something and some data is gone. You know that you stored it, but it is gone, right? The data loss as a crash, also a totally missing feature. It is supposed to provide me a view to see the candidate resume, and that view itself is not there. So a totally missing feature is a high severity. It's a problem. It's a grave problem, right? There is one other higher severity even before this, which is called showstopper. That means I am not able to proceed. If that is the case, for example, login itself is not working, so you cannot go to any other screen, or it doesn't even install, it's a problem. Or creating a candidate's name, that itself is not working. Then how can you do read, how can you do update, how can you do delete, right? Take a bank. Creating an account doesn't work, so I cannot test deposit, I cannot test withdrawal, I cannot test statements. So I am stopped towards proceeding to the next area. In that case, that bug severity is called showstopper. It's the highest severity. Next is high. Some companies call it as major also, right? There is something next to that, right? Towards the end I will show one more thing, like spelling mistake, right? Alignments, then wrong colors, right? When I say alignments, bad alignments, it's not good alignments, bad alignments, wrong colors, you can take it as low severity because they don't affect you much, but still it has to be corrected. It's a problem, still it has to be corrected. Low, they also talk about this as cosmetic, right? The other name people use this as cosmetic, right? Small bugs. Still it has to be corrected. Anything that is high, so there is something in between which is called a minor, right, or medium, right? Then how can I classify? Any high severity bug that has a workaround, right? They also talk like this as simple workaround, right? Suppose there is a data loss. Okay, if you do this in this way, you don't lose the data. The same operation, if you try to do this way, you will not get a crash. That means you go in a road, it's blocked. But somewhere if people are saying, okay, go through this way, take this diversion, you can still reach the place. That means you have another alternative way, right? If there is an alternate, if there is a workaround meaning alternate path. If there is an alternate path, even if it is a high severity bug, it means you can state it as medium or minor. So some companies call it as showstopper, high, medium, low. Some companies call it as showstopper, are also blockers. That means they completely block you. Blockers, major, minor, and cosmetic, right? So they will determine the severity of the bug using this scale. Usually there is one more thing called suggestion, right? Testers can give suggestions, right? These are all called nice if features. That means if this is there, it can improve the usability of the product. It can improve this look and feel, right? It will be easy for the customer. So suggestions to make the product look great, to make the user's life easy. It can also be put as a bug, but you have to make it as a suggestion, right? The third thing that they will discuss in the triage meeting is priority. Priority meaning how soon I should fix it, right? This is for the development team. Okay, you got a problem, and how soon should I fix it, right? For example, you are next to your house, the car doesn't start. Okay, you park the vehicle just next to your house, you try to start the car, it doesn't start. Yeah, the severity is definitely it's stopping you. Now you can take a cab, still go to office and then come back, or you can take a public transport, come back. You need not fix it immediately, right? It doesn't affect you. So the priority to fix when the car is in your garage or next to your house, you may not, right, immediately do it. The same situation. You are stopping for a traffic light or a signal. You are waiting for the green to come up. Car stops. It doesn't start. That means severity is again blocker. Car didn't start when you are standing at the signal or a traffic light. Car doesn't start at your garage. Situation is same. The severity is same, but the place is different, right? When you are on the road blocking so many other vehicles, you need to get the car started, or you have to move the car immediately, right? So you should act immediately. So the priority is high there, right? Priority means how soon I should fix it, I should correct it. This is for the development team. Again, this is, people always use this high, medium, low. Typically companies will say high means within, they will have a scale within 24 hours. Medium means within 48 hours, right? Low means within say 72 hours, something like that. Again, it can vary from company to company, right? Can I postpone the problem? Again, the problem still lies there. Can I postpone the problem? Or in this case, I cannot postpone the problem, correct? So priority means how soon should I fix it. The fourth thing that they will discuss in the triage meeting is expected closure date. Okay, by what date I can close this? Okay, I found the bug today. They will say 16th December 2010 I should close this bug, right? So initially there were only about 5 or 6 fields. During the triage meeting, they also determined severity, priority, and the expected closure date. They will also put, right, expected fix duration, right, in hours. Okay, they will say, the development lead says, okay, this will take about 3 hours to fix for my developers. So your car had a problem, so you go to the car repair shop. They will say, yeah, it will take another 5 hours for us to repair this car, correct? Same way, how long? So that you can plan your other work. So you can go back somewhere and then come back after some time, right? So during the triage meeting, they will put all this information. In some companies, they will also ask you to enter severity by yourself, right? But priority, even if you put whatever severity and priority, whatever you put as a tester while filing the bug, it will change, or it may change during the triage meeting, because it is the management decision to take whether I should fix it now or later. Now the bug is fixed. the filed. Fixing is the next step, right? Remember, testers identify the bugs. You cannot give a solution because you may not know where the problem is, right? Developers fix the bugs, right? They will go to the code, they will find out why this problem happens, they will fix. Then testers must retest the bugs, right? Whether they are definitely fixed, right? This is another area. So in this session we talked about build acceptance test. Then we also talked about the details of the bugs, how to file the bug. Usually this will be done in a spreadsheet, or there will be bug tracking system. We will be having a total test management system towards the end of this course. I'll stop this lecture here. We will continue in the next session. Thank you.